them all the way down like this, all the way down like this. Now let me get a paper and then do the whole show on it, so I can get about 3 or 4 dots. So this is the dot distribution, ladies and gentlemen. Now let me just open them up, and you realize that I have distributed the dots, and this means that I'm going to have a dot here. I'll have one in my armhole, I'll have another one in my neck, I'll have another one up to this point. And you redraw all around, and you can sew 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. Don't forget, it was just 2. I moved this one to the bust, and then now I distributed it. So if you have a waist dart, you can actually distribute your waist dart like this. You can also distribute your bust dart to somewhere else. So that can be combined and it can be distributed. I don't know if you get it, but the same process. Now, if I want to move this dart from this place and take it to my neck, my center, all I'm going to do is I'll draw a line from this point to this point, and then look at what I'm going to do. I'll slash all the way to this point, and then I'll close that one. So immediately I close, the dart will open here. So it's not a big deal. It's about something existing. It's like you have water in, let's say, a certain part of the ground, and you want to have another source of water in another part. What do you have to do? You need to dig from that point. Let me demonstrate it here. I just want to use that example so it doesn't look so obvious to you. I have water here. I want to have another water here, or I even want to have more water bodies. If this is enough, or if this is big enough, I just have to dig from this point to this. Then I'll dig from this point also to this, and I'll dig from this point also to this. So that's the slashing. You would have to slash all the way to this point so that whatever is here will move into this. And if this one is big enough, slash to this point, and you are going to get another drainage to this place and another drainage to this place. So that's what we call dart transfer. Moving a dart from one point and taking it somewhere else. This doesn't mean that you have eliminated the dart. You have just distributed the dart and had a lot. And if you also decide that you don't want this plenty water bodies, okay, you only want one, you can just come and dig here like this. And then, so we move this to this, to this, and to this. You want just one. You can call this one maybe number 5. And all you are going to do is just connect to this one, okay? Connect to this one, or just draw one connection. So from this point, everything will come to this place, and you will have to cover this so that the one that comes here doesn't come into this area again, ladies and gentlemen. So this is that manipulation. Let me try it for the very last time, just to satisfy your thoughts before we move on. Now I have a dart, and I want to move the dart to anywhere. You choose anywhere of the human figure you can move a dart to. So let me just move my dart to maybe my center. I haven't moved it. You can even move it to this part of the body. So if you want to move it here, it's very simple. Just find your apex. So I know where my apex is. And then I'll draw a line from this point all the way to this point. Then I will connect this. So maybe I want to connect both this dart and this dart to just one place. So I'll connect this one to the apex as well. Now look at how I'm going to do them. It's very simple. I will cut this waist. First of all, you slash here. You can slash this all the way to this point. Then you cut your dart out. So my dart has been cut out. Continue the cutting all the way to your apex. Now, when you close this area is going to move, or is going to open. So let me just close it beautifully. Like I said, in the closing, just make sure that this area has closed. This section is always going to overlap, so don't worry about the overlap. So I close, and then I tape it off like this. So I have this dart there. There's an existing one. Maybe I don't want it. So all I'm going to do is I will just cut this one too off like this. I'll take it off, and then you cut from this point all the way to the apex as well. Then look at what I'm going to do. I'm just going to close that bust dart. So let me close it, and you realize this is opening so big like that. So you close it beautifully like this. So it's close and we have something big. So when you are going to sew this top, first of all, put it on a brown paper, draw underneath, retrace the whole thing. You have a very big dart like this. Draw all the way, come in 1 inch, draw it at like this. And then when you finish, name it. This is called maybe the front top. It's not compulsory that if you move a dart at the front, you go and move it at the back. This has nothing to do with neckline, so I didn't talk about it. But if you, the designer, you want to have some sort of nice neckline, that is fine. You can just open up your neck, sew a top beautifully, and then wear it. So this time you have a dart that is coming from your side instead of the regular bust and then waist kind of dart. Now let me also prompt you that it is not compulsory that you must always sew this thing, you hold it as a dart and sew. You can always gather it. So this is an excess you have now. So if you want to gather it, so let's try it. Let me just try it like this. So we are going to cut this out. So this is my dart. Very good. Now, how do I gather this? I'm just going to sew gathers all around this section, and then I'll pull the gathers like this. So you are just going to gather. So, and you get your shape. That is all. I mean, this has been gone to cut, or I have gone to cut this thing on a fabric, okay? So all I'm doing is I'm just going to gather this place up, and when you turn to the right side, or like when you sew this, it is gathers you are going to see here. Now if you wanted to pleat it, it is still possible. All you need to do is hold it from this point to that point, and this is a pleat instead of a dart. So that is just an excess that has been given to you. When you hold it and you sew it like this, then we call it a dart. You can decide that I want to pleat or I want to gather that excess that you have there, ladies and gentlemen. So that can be gathered, it can be pleated, it can do tags, you can do anything that you want to do with it. Darts are very, very beautiful. Now all the designs I have been doing are all symmetric. They are also asymmetric dart, and like we have done in our previous class, if you have an asymmetric design, you will need what we call a full block. Okay, so let me just join 2 blocks and call it a full block. On a regular day, you are supposed to trace a full block, meaning you put your paper on fold and then you cut so that you get that full shape. Okay. So let me just say this is my full block. Okay, so I have a full block here, and I want to do an asymmetric. Don't try to run away from asymmetric things. It happens. There are times that what you have, I've already explained it in the neck class, and also in other classes I explained what the asymmetric design is. Asymmetric simply means that what you have here is not the same as what you have here. So it means that you need to do something about it. You need to have a full block and then do the design. So let's just pretend that I am wearing a design where there is a bust dart at this section. There is no waist dart, there is just a bust dart. And then here there is a waist dart. So technically, this is what I'm trying to say. Let me draw my design here. let me put the design down for you.